I'm a full-time crochet artist, also known as someone with no social life or social skills. Here is what I do in a week. So I'm gonna crochet a labubu. I don't really like labubus because I think they look kind of weird, which is kind of hypocritical comparing my art record, but I don't know. The only labubus I do like are when people customize them and they're like thugs and gangsters and stuff. I think they look so adorable, but I think I don't have enough yarn. In fact, I know I don't have enough yarn, but I really hope I do because I don't want to go back to the store. Anyways, let's get started. I feel like watching this step, it's really satisfying and therapeutic, but let me tell you, this is my least favorite step because after like the third plushie, I get so tired of having to do the same thing, adding the eyes, the mouth, the cheeks, the eyelids. It gets so exhausting, but at the end of the day, it's like one of my most important steps because everything comes together and it shows my iconic face. But right now you're watching me make something called the gruffies. I call them gruffies, and they're like grumpy, they're adorable, they're a little bit chubby, and they're like mischievous little creatures. This is actually my first original character design I've made. I've been crocheting full-time for a little over a year, and I've always just been doing commissions of custom characters and celebrities, but never my own original characters. So here I am doing that, and maybe one day I'll eventually get these manufactured, but for now they're just handmade. We are finally done. We have 16 scruffies because that's what I call them. I call them scruffies. And then this is the 17th one. We're both wondering the same thing. Why is he dressed up in a panda suit? I don't know. I just think he has an identity crisis, but we listen and we don't judge. Today, I'm gonna crochet Alice from Alice in Wonderland. I had already made her, but I made her the mini size, and I loved her so much, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to make the big one. So that is what I'm gonna be doing today. But that wasn't supposed to be the plan. I was actually supposed to pack orders, go to Michael's, and then do all of this. But then for some reason, like a light switch just went off inside of my head, and I lost the capability to do anything of what I said I was gonna do. By the way, if you see a lot of fuzz just fuzzing around, my bad. I get so much polyfill and fuzz and yarn stuff floating around. When I first started doing this, I thought they were all bugs and I would be like swatting at nothing, but now it's been a year and I know it's just yarn. So if you just see a lot of things floating around, it's literally just yarn pieces and fuzz. Yeah, that's just what it is. So now I'm just gonna crochet Alice in Wonderland. I don't even want to film. Like, I'm filming a TikTok and then I'm filming this video right now. I don't even want to do that. I want to take off my makeup and just chill and crochet, but I at least gotta do something. So we're doing this. Okay, so I'm done with the head. It took me an hour and a half to make it, and now we're gonna get started on the feet. So today is a new day. I'm excited because I have no obligation other than to sit on this bed and complete this plushie. No ifs, no ands, no exceptions. We have to finish this plushie today. Why? Because I said so. Why? Because as of lately, I feel like I haven't been putting a lot of work. You know what I mean? Like ideally, and listen, ideally, I want to do 8 hours a day crocheting, which you may be like, okay, that's not that hard. I mean, that's an average work day. But I meant 8 hours of consistent crocheting. The moment I get up, my timer is set off. The moment I use the bathroom, the timer is set off. The moment I realize that I'm too invested in my show, the timer is set off, and then I gotta continue crocheting without the timer on to make up for like lost time. If my hand is not moving, the timer doesn't count. Also, packaging orders, filming videos, things like that, I don't count as the timer. Like I don't count it as time spent working on my business, even though it is time spent working on my business. If it's not crocheting, I don't count it. And I feel like that's really unfair for me, because then I set myself up for disappointment, because then when I don't get 8 hours of crocheting done, I could get 8 hours of work done. But if I don't get 8 hours of crocheting done, I am now filled with disappointment. And I feel like I'm setting myself up for failure here. I mean, at this point, do I thrive off of disappointing myself? I don't know. We're gonna continue working on Alice from Alice in Wonderland. All we gotta do is her hair, her bow, and her face. Pretty simple. And then, look at this guy. Do you know who this guy is? Guess, 1, 2, 3, it is Michael Myers. I actually, in fact, already made him like back in September for my Halloween drop. I made him as a mini version and everybody went crazy for it. When it sold out, like people was like, oh my gosh, make it again. But I never made it again, I don't think. So I'm like, you know what, let's make it again just for fun, but let's make it as a big plushie. So yeah, we made a big Michael Myers. I want to complete both of these today. I don't know if that's gonna happen, and I feel like you and me both know it's not gonna happen, but I want to complete both of these today, so let's see. I get really nervous when I'm like outside in public. I think that's because I stay indoors 24/7. So when I had to take these pictures outside and people were staring, I really just wanted to shrivel up and die, honestly. But anyways, after I took pictures outside, I went inside to take some more pictures. But these photos were gonna be more of like a theme, you know what I mean? Like I wanted to give these graphies a personality. I wanted them to be seen as mischievous and sneaky, so I made them like draw on the walls. And then I cleaned everything up. I used washable crayons. I was kind of like nervous thinking it wasn't gonna work because I want my deposit back, but luckily it did. So that was my week and I'm finally done. It was, I guess you can say it was a productive week, but I feel like I can always do more. I had also finished this because after I get done filming, I like to like work on projects that don't require me to take videos for. So we also made boots from Dora. That is basically a work week in my life. I still work like Saturday and Sundays, but sometimes I like to just not film and just not time myself and just crochet when I feel like it. So that's my off day, but I still crochet on my off days. I just don't have an obligation to meet a time requirement. Anyways, thank you so much for watching my video. Subscribe if you want to see me and more plushies. Comment down below what type of video you want to see next and what type of plushies you want to see as well. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.